Here we are with another video about the NBA, and the fun of the game is fun. It's a great thing to watch. It's exciting, and the playoffs are going on, and it's just a good time. But I want to go over the 10 worst contracts currently right now, so let's get into it. Number 10, Eric Bledsoe. Eric has been on a number of teams since entering back in 2010. He's been with the Clippers twice, the Suns, the Bucks, and the Pelicans. He is currently 32 years old and has been acquired by the Portland Trail Blazers. He signed a $70 million contract with the Bucks, including $54 million guaranteed. He's had career lows in all stats and just isn't someone who can stay healthy. Number 9 is Kyle Lowry. He's been a decent player for a majority of his career with teams like the Grizzlies, Houston, and more known for the Raptors. You can make the case he's more of a facilitator rather than a stat filler. He signed a $85 million contract with the Raptors, and all of it was guaranteed. He was then moved to Miami and just isn't the same. He's dealt with consistent injuries and is at all-time lows for his numbers. He's a champion, but not the same player he once was. He will need to adjust his money if he plans on playing, and currently he is 36 years old. Number 8, we have Kevin Love. Now, this isn't terrible, but it hasn't been great. Kevin Love was a big-time part in the championship run for Cleveland, but that time is now over. He signed a $120 million contract and is just not healthy. All-time lows in points and minutes for him now, but I'll make the case that he's serving as a veteran role for the young core for the Cavs' future, which is great. They've had a very good season. He'll have to adjust. Luckily, he's on the back end of this contract, so we'll see what happens when he hits free agency. He is up there in age and just hasn't been able to stay healthy. Number 7 has to be Ben Simmons. Now, there's just too much drama to explain here, but any contract with Ben Simmons is just a bad one because you'll never know if he'll commit to it. His 5-year deal worth $177 million is all guaranteed, and it's not concrete if the Brooklyn Nets are going to pay it. But it depends on him if he's actually going to play, or if the Nets try and move him and his big cap hit. Number 6, we have Kyrie Irving, another drama-filled story. This guy is one that is just so obvious. Now, he's a great player, but only a part-time player. The Nets will never know if he's going to play a full season, and it seems like he's owed a max contract. Currently earning $36 million per year and only playing part-time seems like a little much, if you ask me. Will the Nets extend him or think about getting rid of him? Either way, it's a bad contract for the league and for the Nets. Number 5, we have Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is famous for not showing up more nights than showing up, if that makes any sense. He was paid as a number 1 option, but doesn't realize he's barely a number 2. His $35 million per year is way too much for him, and the Sixers need to figure out to move forward. You can't have a guy like that make that much money and not be productive on a consistent basis. There was always an argument whether they should keep a Jimmy Butler or a Tobias Harris, and it seems like Jimmy Butler should have been the one. Number 4, we have Kawhi Leonard. Now, he is a great, but with what happened with the Spurs, then the load management error that he basically started, it's put the league on notice that maybe basketball isn't the top for him. Basically playing part-time like Kyrie Irving, he is skipping games and carrying a hefty price tag at $39 million per year. He's been injured, and if you aren't on the court, I don't think you're worth that money. Number 3 seems kind of obvious, but Russell Westbrook. Now, this is a guy is something different. With all the drama about his stat stuffing and the fact that he doesn't make players better, he can't produce wins and doesn't seem to work on the parts of the game that he's bad at. This guy is making over $40 million per season and just seems to be in no man's land most of the time when he's on the court, especially with the Lakers. He couldn't get it done with multiple superstars, and the Lakers are part of that now. The worst part is he has no trade value, so the Lakers might be stuck with him next season. Number 2 is James Harden. This is a pure example of someone who is a former shell of himself. He can't get by players, still holds onto the ball for way too long, and just can't get the shots to go down. He is a volume shooter who needs the ball, who is on a team where the offense goes through Joel Embiid. So how are you going to get you shots, man? Making over $44 million per year, who was looking for an extension and a max contract, which would be about $60 million per year, the Sixers would be silly to offer him that kind of deal. Now, our number one player is someone that you might not have heard of for a little bit, but his name is John Wall. His last game was April 23rd of 2021. And let me repeat that. April 23rd of 2021. This guy was actually great and had so much promise, one of the fastest players in the league, and was good at running the offense. He was crippled with injuries, and the big one happened right after signing a big deal with the Wizards. He is making almost $50 million per year by not playing. Now there's been some drama with the team and himself on the reason why he hasn't played for the Rockets, but Wall isn't the player he was, and the game is slowly leaving him behind. Hope you guys liked the video, and let us know if we missed anyone, if we missed any bad contracts. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.